A touchdown.
That's what we need more of that. We need more of that, man. Bring that to the show.
That was unbelievable.
I think my rants on Zach Wilson went long. There was a play where
Garrett's moving back and forth.
And they were chasing him with their tight ends, and they wound up getting a delay because they can't run the play because they are just following him side to side.
Grown men, absolutely terrified. Think about that.
He's unbelievable.
Let me tell you what you do in the meeting right there. That rat died. That's what that is. When he gets up, starts moving, and everybody's moving, you're like, what? What? Time out. Bad plan. That's
the thing. Should the Cowboys just line up behind Dak and just push him into the end zone?
I think so. I love it.
It should be an illegal
snowplow.
No, it's the worst play. It absolutely should be.
It's going to get Kelsey put in the Hall of Fame, which I freaking love.
They got to
stack them. No way. You're such a freaking hater, dude.
It's a terrible play.
It's a great play.
It's unsightly. It's unfair.
Oh, my God. It's unfair.
It's bad TV.
It's not good. It's bad TV.
We can't stop it, so it's unfair.
Kelsey's going to get in the Hall of Fame because he broke the Taylor Swift. That's why he's going to go.
For sure.
If Zach Wilson was a professional football player, the Jets would look completely different. Garrett Wilson could be one of the three best receivers in football, which would make Alan Lazard what he should be, which is a complimentary piece. McCole Hardman would be on the field in theory instead of all these tight ends.
Yeah.
He doesn't even play.
We don't.
The line, they've got 11 guys on the line of scrimmage because they're just begging Zach to throw it. And he doesn't look any more confident in that he knows what to do out there than I would if I was.
We got this segment. We're good.
Well, no, that's the thing. The show can't just become me yelling at Zach Wilson every freaking day.
And the bottom line of it is this, Rex. He cannot be out on the field ever again for the Jets, and I'm going to tell you why. I know you disagree. I'm going to tell you why. Because RC is right. Their chances of winning anything this year are over. They're not remote. They're done. They need to try to keep this thing together. And if they run Zach Wilson out there one more time, Garrett Wilson's going to lose it. Michael Carter was losing it. They're all going to lose it. So I don't care who it is, literally anyone. Carson Wentz is calling. Matt Ryan is calling. I don't care who the hell you have to run out there. Do anything else. But that is going to explode in there. They already hated that kid last year. They're running around in Mike White shirts. They probably shouldn't have kept him on the team in the first place, but they want to try and justify the fact that they made him the second pick in the draft and had this idea that maybe Aaron Rodgers will turn him into a superstar, as though he's not only going to be the quarterback, but he's also going to be a coach, which I guess in theory he could have been. But the bottom line of it is they can't put him back on the field again. Sunday night against Kansas City, that team is ready to fracture.
Is it true that, Carson Wentz and is the Matt Ryan Carson Wentz thing? Why not? Carson Wentz is better than Zach Wilson, isn't he? It's not even close.
Yes. I want the experience of Greedy rooting for Carson Wentz on the weekly. He's going to do
Matt Ryan had to actually go on television yesterday and say he doesn't want to be the quarterback.
First of all, there's no way that the Jets would sign Matt Ryan's playing in the dome.
Don't forget, we're on YouTube.
It's okay, though.
Oh, my word. Dude, he could throw in a dome, bro. You think he's going to throw in New York?
And that's literally be the first time anyone has ever said, bring in Carson Wentz to keep the locker room together. I mean, he is literally the opposite of that his entire career, but it's the right idea. It is the right idea because they are going to splinter. That's what the season is irreparably lost as far as winning the Super Bowl. Forget that. That's not what it's about anymore. It's about keeping that group of young guys together so it doesn't become just a complete mess in time for Rodgers to come back next year and try and make it happen.
The New York can't be serious, can they?
Are the Jets going to make the playoffs?
No.
Well, of course not. I mean, anyone with eyes can see that. But it's a more direct question. No. How do the Jets salvage their season is going to leave you up there with unless you're going to go like this. They just can't. But how do they salvage this? I just want to know. If they can get to the show anymore, I just want to know.
If they can get the league to outlaw the forward pass, really levels the playing.
They and the Falcons would be right in there.
I had a really interesting conversation with Jimbo Fisher this past week, and I was calling their game at Texas A&M against Auburn, and he was telling me this story about the 76 Steelers.
We have built this defense up to be like one of those legendary defenses. Well, that defense, they lost their starting quarterback in Terry Bradshaw 5 games into the year. They were 1-4. Jack Lambert and Mean Joe Green sat down and said, you know what? The only way we're going to win is if the other team doesn't score. and they went on a 9-game winning streak and only gave up 3.1 points per game. Now, I know it's not 1976 anymore, and I know the game has changed in many ways.
And I know it's not 1976, and I know the game is different today, but the Jets defense just has to realize that even though they only gave up 15 points, that's too many points. They cannot win right now because they're not going to get randomly 20 or 30 points from Zach Wilson and this Jets offense. So, to me, the defense just has to take the approach. They can't let the other team score.
I actually think they have to take the approach that they have to score themselves.
They have to score.
I really do. And no, RG3, that's exactly right. And people old like me remember that team, and they're probably the greatest defense of all time. And people don't remember that. That was the team that didn't win the Super Bowl.
That Ravens team with
They didn't win the Super Bowl that year. They lost in the conference championship game, but that's what we built. That's what we built the Jets up to be. We built them up to be the greatest defense of all time, or have the potential to be that. Well, they got to go do that.
Yeah, they built themselves up to be that. But yes, the point is right.
Ray used to say at the beginning of games, they don't score, they can't win.
Right.
And I would always be thinking, we aren't the 05 Ravens while he was giving us these speeches.
Right.
This game is not the same, but it's the mindset. And we would practice pitching the ball in practice.
That's why you weren't giving speeches.
Exactly.
You would practice pitching to try and score.
Yeah, on defense, that was it was understood. And we didn't have to do it. We didn't have Trent Dilfer. We had a much better offense than they had, but it was something that was ingrained in that team where it was like, the defense gets the ball. My first interception, Ray stripped me and tried to score down the sideline. Because I wasn't accustomed to this. I'd always been taught, no.
Get a bounce.
Yeah, get down. Don't give it back. But they're like, no. You pitch it, give the thing to Ed as quick as you can, and block some damn body.
Mm-hmm.
You're offended. You're offended that I so casually use Olympics track guy.
I don't want to rain on the parade, so but I will state that these guys, they're not an Olympic track team. But for football purposes, yes, they are the fastest in the league for sure.
Are any of them faster than you?
Tyreek is faster than me. The rest of them, no.
That's it, Nick.
I beat RG3 right now.
Oh.
Right on that. Right on the wood.
Oh,
right. We're getting the one person that's not laughing. Robert. I'm just joking, buddy. Just joking.